Nearly 45% of Indian male feel lonely, with highest rates reported in urban areas, says National Sample Survey Organization based on their study. Indian Psychiatric Society confirms the percentage to be definitely more than 20. And the World Health Organization, that has declared loneliness to be a pressing global health threat, suggests that its mortality effect is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. 15 a day. And yet, there's hardly any talk about this in popular medium or social media. Smoking advisory videos would be inflicted upon you before any movie screenings. You will have disclaimers on each frame where someone smokes. But our cinema, while so invested on more catchy themes of expressive diseases that fetch flaunted performances, is almost mute to this growing epidemic within Indian males that in turn affects the woman too. Of course, there are brilliant exceptions which we would discuss in this video, but the question remains why majority of Indian popular cinema overlooks these shocking statistics, or is it that Indian cinema in some way or the other has itself a role to play in this epidemic? Well, let us discuss. In the film Dear Zindagi, Alia Bhatt plays Kaira, who suffers from an episode of depression that unsettles her, until her psychologist, played by Shah Rukh Khan, guides her to a realization rooted in a childhood separation. Alia, a superstar in the country, had no challenges in playing this character fighting depression and carried the film to box office success. She plays a similarly depressed girl in Highway until she is kidnapped as a healing process triggers through her exposures to life outside her mansion. Back in 2015, Deepika Padukone spoke on national television about her episodes of depression, and yet the film she was promoting that summer was a commercial success, unaffected by her disclosure of her mental health history. But when the country was struck by the untimely death of Sushant Singh Rajput, everything went on for unrelenting scrutiny, from murder to drugs, nepotism to involvement of his girlfriend, but not as much substantial discussion on his mental health condition that his psychologist Susan Moffat Walker pointed out. Perhaps it is this smiling face, perhaps it is from the consideration of the box office hit he gave only a few months back that most believed that a suicide is unlikely. And then he was a hero, the protector, the savior, an image that our cinema has been propagating ever since its birth, providing an unrealistic and unsettling baseline for Indian male to pursue. Between the angry young man of Amitabh Bachchan to Rajesh Khanna's Pushpa I Hate Tears, the Give It All for Love, Raj, Prem and Rahuls of the 90s, and the Warrior Kings and Prince avatars, all trying to follow the footsteps of Bahubali, lies an entire range of boys and men who want to open up, who want to cry, who want to be protected themselves but are unable to express because of the biased gender politics of our society. Women are not the only victims of patriarchy, and the statistics we started with only proves that point. There have been many missed opportunities in the past and even today. Dar, one of the breakout roles of superstar Shah Rukh Khan, is perhaps the first major Hindi film to feature a psychiatrist. But instead of investing enough into the stammering loner who stalks this particular woman, the film reinforces this behavior as an expression of unrequited love. Shah Rukh went on to reprise this obsessive stalker role in a couple of subsequent films that eventually became a fashionable anti-hero identity. While Ranveer Singh is celebrated for his Sangram Bhalerao and Peshwa Bajirao images that speak of masculine valor and bravery, the more beta avatar in Jayesh Bhai Jordar is washed away with the surge of alpha male dominance on screen. And in the recently released Bad News, even when we are told about Vicky Kaushal's character's frightful obsession with his mobile phone and fear of losing an urgent call, it is just about one of the many gags of the film and not a probe into a chronic condition most of the Indian males are undergoing. And there lies the beauty of Aavesham, the Jeetu Madhavan classic starring Fahad Fasil. As it celebrates the superstar, it gives us enough laugh-out-loud moments and then also puts up subtle subplot of a lonely man, although surrounded by yes-men, begging for company of 3 college kids. When Ranga talks about not getting likes on Instagram, it works as a damn funny line in the context of the tense climax, But come to think about it, and there's pathos about the world we live in, at the mercy of virtual validations and reckonings. Ranga is the gangster we love, but the gangster we do not deserve. He wants to dance and sing. He keeps promises made to people who do not matter, and he cries when he's hurt, breaking free from the macho image we associate with gangsters in such mainstream films. Aavesham also touches upon this very important theme of online images and validations. Social media, which started with an idea of making us more conversational, but only turned out to make us more performative, thriving on our subdued wishes to feel like a celebrity. But then aren't the celebrities themselves lonely and depressed, even though surrounded by so many, much like what we watch in Aavesham? The Sushant Singh incident was an epitome of tragedy. But then, let's hear what King Khan had to say.
I'm strangely, and I was lonely even before to say that I am after becoming a star. I just feel very lonely, and I don't like being left alone. I like to be with crowds. I can't socialize with them, but I get very scared when I'm alone.
Are you scared of yourself sometimes?
I'm scared of being alone with myself. Yes, I get scared of myself, and I don't like myself, I think, too much. It is so ironic that there are a lot of people who tell me they would like to be Shah Rukh, and Shah Rukh is here wanting to be Ramesh or Rahul or Raj or Batman or Superman.
Anyone but Shah Rukh.
Anyone but Shah Rukh.
The social image is most definitely not the only reason for the epidemic of loneliness that the Indian male is facing. The economy has to play a part too. Loneliness is found to be the highest among men in their late 40s, often shaped by how they perceive their careers and income. Many of these men die every day in professions they do not connect to or dislike. It is just the capitalistic structure we find ourselves in that binds them to their jobs. Imtiaz Ali portrays this well in his much less celebrated Tamasha, as we find Ranbir Kapoor's Ved not that different from an android bot in his daily job, only to find his real self during vacations. He develops an identity crisis and relationship phobia, as slowly his encounter with Deepika Padukone's Tara brings the comatose patient to life. Chidambaram portrays the male desire for connection and company in Janeman, as we are introduced to a lonely Basil Joseph in snow-covered Russia, calling friends and family frantically while no one is bothered to answer his calls. Again, a Malayalam film which starts with fresh breaths of comedy and then, before we realize, goes on to make a solid statement on love and human connections by the end. While Janeman deals with the aspects of the Indian male working away from home more comically, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness, Salim Ahmed's Pathemari, starring the great Mammootty, does a clinical analysis of this theme, of a man staying away from his family in the Middle East, spending each second of his life for earning few bucks more for his family, while in the process progressing alone to his eventual end. And then if you look around, you will find so many fathers, uncles and colleagues doing the same, not even having the relief moment of shouting out that they are tired. And then that's about the ones with a job. In our country with so many jobless, the pressure and predicaments faced by the Indian jobless male is huge, often leading to crime, suicide and for sure, depression. Look at the fantastic Ritik Chakraborty in Indranil Roy Chaudhary's Mayar Jonjal, negotiating with himself as he learns about his wife working as a cook for their family, their son, before the man gives in to drug peddling. Ritik sitting in the old Left Front Party office with his face hanging is a brilliant description of a helpless man trying to cling to the gone days in his society as well as in the state of Bengal. Bratto Boshu plays a fish merchant in the same film, a similarly lonely man lost in the childhood memories of his mother as he looks for shelter in prostitutes. And there's Paran Bandyopadhyay, an elderly widower in the family where Ritik's wife goes for cooking, an obligation for his son and daughter-in-law, dealing with loneliness in his ways. Mayar Jonjal is a breakout film in the decaying arena of Bengali cinema for such authentic representation of today's Bengali society, whereas Srijit Mukherjee, the more popular Bangla filmmaker, creates the image of the lonely cop Probir Roy Chaudhary in his Baishe Shravan cop franchise, only to waste that subtext in weaving stories of revenge and surface-level thrills. The ever-increasing fragmented structure of the country, the politically polarized society, also adds to our isolation from each other. If we are witnessing increased loneliness, that means we are undergoing reduced inclusivity as a society. And such examples flood our news feed every day. Debutant director Harshad Nalavade captures this phenomenon so well in his Kannada film Follower, as he delivers an anatomy of the new cyber species often termed as trolls. We delve into the psyche of Raghu, the film's central character, trying to understand what triggers his extreme anger and frustrations that he unleashes on his social media posts, working for a local political party. Is it some trauma of the past? Is it the patronizing attitude of others in better social and economic positions? Is it the misplaced idea of inherited privilege and superiority as a man, which he does not find in reality once grown up? Or is it the inherent grudge towards women and inability to have a sober communication? The desire of the female company, but unable to reach for all the things mentioned earlier, and an acute lack of sexual education. This sexual frustration also becomes the central theme of Kanu Bell's critically acclaimed Agra, as he presents a character study of a young man lost in search of space and sex, in complete contrast to what the city of Taj Mahal stands for. The repressed urges of Guru finds vent in porn sites and paid chats, thus turning his sexual expressions to kind of animal hunger of gratification more than anything else. In a country with about 100 rapes every day, Agra is a groundbreaking attempt to look beyond the superficial ideas of justice, to look at the origins of male obsessions and savage masculinity arising from toxic upbringings, unregistered abuses, familial cruelty, everyday repressions, and loneliness. Utmost loneliness. The consequences of male loneliness are severe and far-reaching. Men who experience loneliness are at higher risk of developing mental health disorders, such as depression and anxiety. Loneliness can also have physical health implications, including increased risk of cardiovascular diseases, weakened immune systems, and poor sleep quality. Furthermore, loneliness can impact men's relationships, both personal and professional, leading to strained relationships, reduced job satisfaction, and lower productivity at work. Make friends beyond social media, to whom you can actually open your heart out. Don't cancel your plans with friends and family, even if you're not entirely sold with the idea. They at least give you some moments of communication. Keep pets if possible. They are capable of changing your entire perspective of life. Try to find beauty in whatever you do and wherever you are. It is always more about the road and the memories than the destination. We witness such a journey in TVF's Panchayat, as the lonely Abhishek Tripathi slowly warms up to his bittersweet life as the village Sachiv in Fulera. Panchayat breaks through the clutter to become one of the most popular and loved shows on Indian OTT, as it beautifully depicts how it takes a village to address loneliness of today's Indian male, lost between superficial emotions and compulsive ambitions. It indeed does take a village. Well, that is all from us today. Thank you for watching. If you like our content, please consider subscribing.